Has this ever happened to you?
The king says, "These heinous bandits have kidnapped my daughter, the princess, bringing them back to me, dead or alive."
Oh, I'm getting big time overprotective daddy vibes on this one. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll an insight check.
Go ahead and roll for it.
Ooh, okay. I got a. Sorry guys, can you give me just a second? Dude, who's on fire? No, just me and the other mathletes are saving El Terrell from the nine hells. What do you need? Well, what does the pop-up say? Then press the escape key. Upper left on your keyboard. Other left. Next to the F1. No, don't press F1. That's the help window. It opened when you pressed F1. Just hit the escape key. No, I can't just fix it from here. I'm not that kind of wizard. I'm Pre-Gen Character, and this is Roleplay Culture. It happens in every group. Inevitably, the game will be interrupted whenever the real world rears its ugly head for one player or another. Maybe it's a family member in crisis, or the babysitter looking for advice. Could be a boss who needs help after hours, or the dreaded tech support emergency. Whatever the reason, it can really choke the flow of the game and ruin the momentum of the evening. So what's a party to do to stay engaged while D&D is on pause? Enter what I like to call intermission games, short, thematic games for the remaining party members to keep everyone engaged, or at least off their phones. These games are free or cheap to buy, and can be played by everyone at the table or in short one-on-one competitions to keep boredom at bay. First up, we have Baldur's Bones. This first game comes all the way from Baldur's Gate. Think of it like D&D Blackjack, except instead of cards, anyone with a handful of d6s can play. Each player places a bet, then rolls 3 d6s. From there, play goes around the table, with each player keeping their roll as a stand or adding another d6. If anyone goes over 21, they're out. Once everyone has decided to stand or are busted out, the highest roll on the table takes the pot. This one is great for those quick phone calls or the Taco Bell revenge breaks. Next, we have Dragon Ante. Dragon Ante is a poker game first published by WotC in 2006, followed by its sequel, Emperor's Gambit, in 2010. The game consists of a deck of dragon and mortal-themed cards with powers and abilities, and a 50-coin pot of gold for each player to bet with. Each game is played in 3 rounds, and each round begins with the ante, wherein each player selects a card that will dictate what everyone around the table must bet on in the round. The highest card becomes the bet. That highest card's ability is triggered, and the gameplay continues clockwise. You want to play a card lower than the person before you to trigger its power, but you also want to have the highest total on the board by the end of the 3 rounds. Also, the highest new card in the round gets triggered to start the next round and becomes the new ante. It's a glorious balancing act of math and spite. Third up, we have Flux. This basic but wild card game comes in a variety of themed decks, including Fairy Tale, Olympus, Pirate, Lovecraft, and Monty Python, among others. There's enough variety to fit the flavor of any game group. Gameplay is simple. On their turn, each player draws a card and plays a card. At least that's how it starts. The cards themselves change the rules, the gameplay, and even the goals. Flux is great because every game is different, and anyone can win at a moment's notice with the right draw. That said, if you have a sufficient number of underhanded jerks at the table, one game can go on forever, so be careful starting with this one if someone's feeling vindictive. Last, we have Tack. It's a beautiful game. Introduced in the first book of Patrick Rothfuss's King Killer Chronicles as a universal and portable tavern game, this mashup of chess and tic-tac-toe can be played in quick rounds or long, vicious competitions, all depending on the size of the board you use. The rules and the board are free to print online, link in the description, and it's easy to make your own pieces if you don't want to buy a set, although I do recommend buying because every set contributes to a worthy worldwide charity. The objective of the game is to build a road connecting one side of the board to another while preventing your opponent from doing the same. The quickest game is played on a 4x4 board, but it can be played all the way up to 8x8, with more pieces and complexity added by the board side. On their turn, each player can either place a new piece or move an existing piece. They can stack their piece on top of an opponent's to claim a space, or place a new piece standing up as a wall to block your opponent. But that piece does not count towards you either. It's an amazingly simple yet captivating game, and so very accessible at all skill levels and for all budgets. The only downside is gameplay is limited to 2 players at a time. So those are our suggestions for games to play while your D&D is on pause. If you want more gaming suggestions, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out our other videos over here, and until next time, this has been Roleplay Culture.